Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Jack with Sioux Dent Repair, and today I'm going to be coming to you live with a full glue pull demonstration on a door ding here on this 2018 F150. So this is a aluminum bodied vehicle. We're going to talk about some of the differences and changes in the aluminum types of repairs, why we chose glue pulling for this repair, and why didn't we do traditional pushing with a dent tool on a door ding in this door here. So let's go ahead and get the camera showing you as far as what we are talking about today. Let's go and get this swapped around here. So this car has a dent right here that I've got my PDR light set up from a distance so it kind of helps you see it. But we've got a dent right here that we're going to be fixing using Paintless Dent Repair, or I'm going to be fixing here live. I'm going to go through this whole entire process and show you exactly how everything's done here. So it's going to be a pretty cool little thing. Hey, what's up there, Ryan? All right, so we've got, this isn't anything extreme by any means. There we've got an example of our Paintless Dent Repair light on it. Let's go ahead and get this flipped actually over here and showing as if we were fixing the car or kind of in a similar position. So why do we use this light? So, well, first off, as you could probably see, showing the light, showing it without the light, it's definitely a lot less noticeable. You're going to see less of a distortion in the metal and stuff like that. But I need to be able to see with pinpoint accuracy in order to make a repair like this. So I need to look at it with a specialized lighting system so that I can see all the details and whatnot involved with it. Another thing, just kind of touching on, we're going to be glue pulling this dent out. So you might ask why? Why aren't we going through your traditional rolling the window down, installing our window guard, and going into the window channel? Well, this vehicle is actually equipped with laminated safety glass in the front windows here. So what does that mean? So what that means is there's two different types of automotive glass, just to kind of break it down for you. There's two different types of automotive glass that they put in vehicles today. So there's tempered glass and there's laminated glass. So what's the difference and what the heck does that even matter? So laminated glass is basically the equivalent of your windshield. So everybody knows they've had a rock chip or something like that in their windshield. Windshield doesn't shatter, it just cracks, and it, hopefully doesn't spread. But anyways, it's going to get a chip in it, and then the glass stays together, but it's going to go ahead and spider out eventually and create some type of a crack in it. Whereas if you were to have a rock impact, a side glass, so like the back glass of this, where it's tempered glass, it'll actually shatter. So why does it do that? Well, laminated safety glass is actually made up of two different pieces of glass that are actually glued together with a basically a device in the center of it that holds it together. So basically think of two different pieces of glass sandwiched together, and then that creates a lot more strength, but then there's a bonding item in the middle that holds the glass, so if it breaks, it doesn't just go into pieces, it holds its structure, or holds its shape basically. So that's why the windshields are the way that they are. When they get hit with a rock chip, they don't crack, they don't shatter, or they crack, but they don't shatter is what I should say. The reason why they're starting to put the laminated glass in the fronts of vehicles nowadays is for a couple different reasons. The biggest one would be safety. So in the event of this vehicle rolling over, and let's say the upper structure here gets pushed down, traditionally, if this was a tempered glass window, it would just shatter, and now you've got a big, huge opening for, unfortunately, somebody to potentially fly out of the vehicle. That would be absolutely the worst thing. In a rollover kind of incident, it's better to stay in the car traditionally than it is to be ejected from the vehicle. So with the laminated glass, that helps hold the structure and integrity of the framing, and the opening here obviously doesn't become a big hole. So that allows the passengers in the vehicle to stay in the vehicle. The second reason for that being, or why they use laminated glass, is for noise. So it actually helps cut down on the exterior road noise into the cab of the vehicle. So you'll see cars where they come with a mix of this. So some cars will have an option to have the nice glass, the quieting glass. You'll have like a sound package or something like that that'll actually upgrade you to the laminated style windows. Okay, so that's enough talk about glass. Why does that even matter? What the heck's going on there? So what that means is basically what we would normally do is roll the windows down and traditionally go in through the upper window channel and push a dent like that out. That's how I would like to do this type of repair. But with it being laminated safety glass, if you roll the window down and put any unnecessary pressure on the edges of these windows, you run the risk of cracking the glass, where a tempered glass would hold its shape and be a little bit, it's kind of odd. It doesn't really make sense to a lot of people when I explain this to them, but basically tempered glass has strong has strength on the edges of the glass, whereas laminated glass is a little more on the softer side. So if I was to roll the window down and put direct pressure on the edge of this glass, I'd crack it. I already know. Luckily, I've never had that happen because I don't even give the option of that. So there's different ways to get around that and ways that can prevent it from cracking and stuff like that. But I'm just not willing to take that risk. I'm not going to go ahead and fix this door ding here and potentially ruin a glass of a vehicle. Now I've got to go get a piece of glass. I've got to order it. I've got to have it tinted. I've got to explain to the customer that, you know, that happened. I don't even want to cross that path. So anyways, that's why we chose to glue pull this dent out. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started on the glue pull repair here and talk about what we're doing and why we're doing it the way that we are. So what I've got here set up is my little glue tray, glue tab cart, if you will. Basically, it's got all my daily used things on here. So I've got a mixture of glue tabs on here, and basically what I do is I just choose the one that is basically fitted or best suited for this type of dent, and then I apply glue to it, put the tab on the cart, and pull it out. So there's obviously a lot of choices here that we've got on our glue cart here. Try to get the camera there. So we've got all different types of brands, and never mind, it's a little tiny bit messy, but we've got a mixture of glue tabs from all different manufacturers, including stuff like these guys here, these lighter or translucent blue and dark blue ones. These are actually available from Kiko. So KikoTabs.com. All different size heads. This one's still got glue on it, but never mind that. So just look at the different sizes. The color actually does indicate a difference in the material that it's made out of. This is actually a crease tab. So I've got a bajillion of these just for quick, wrapping it up and whatnot. That's actually what we use here. Some of the other ones that I use are from Black Plague PDR, which are some of these other manufacturers. They typically come out with the lime green kind of tabs and the gray tabs. So they've got a different sizings to them as well. Remember, this one still has glue on it, but you get the idea. And then this one again is a crease style tab. So another type of glue tab we like to use pretty often is these ones here from Edgy Tools. So, and they've got glue all over them, so whatever, that's fine. The reason being is because I find out that these are actually are a little bit different than the other tabs. So these ones actually have little divots. They kind of look like, essentially, if you think about like a golf ball texture, they kind of look like that on here. So that's kind of the older school method, I guess you could say. Back 10 years ago, that's how all the glue tabs looked, or very similar to this. And they started making them smooth because they do pull better. Well, not necessarily always wanting the absolute best, strongest, super over pull. Sometimes we just want to do like a light or medium pull on the area, and that'll minimize the dent, not over pull the crap out of it. That's where these glue tabs actually really shine. So these are always on my regular go-to everyday cart. A couple other brands I've got here. This one here is from Laka. So it's got a little bit of texture on it as well. This is a crease style tab, and this works really well. Again, if it's on this cart, it's something that I use pretty regularly for the most part. And then like some of these other ones here, these other yellow ones. So Laka makes other colored tabs, but that's kind of the one that's made it onto the cart essentially. And these are some new ones I purchased. These are actually these are Robo tabs. So these are smooth, and this one's got actually a little bit of a dome to it. Just got these a couple weeks ago, so I haven't really had a huge use of these or been able to use these a whole bunch. So anyway, so what kind of glue tab am I going to start off with this dent here that I showed you? So actually what I'm going to go ahead and start off using, because it's not a real big, it's a medium to smallerish kind of style dent. I wouldn't say it's tiny by any means. I know it looks probably not that big to most of the people that are watching this that aren't dent repair technicians, but it's just, I'm going to go ahead and choose actually this pretty good size, the Edgy Tools tab, just to go ahead and kind of see how much of it I can get moving for the first time. So that's one thing that you run into with glue pulling is you run into, maybe, I don't really want to call it experimenting, but it kind of is a little bit, because every tab pulls a little bit different. The glue, the temperature, it's a hotter day out. I mean, it's already about 80 degrees here, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, so it's pretty hot. But I'm going to go ahead and choose this tab to actually start off the repair. And I know another thing I haven't really talked much about is the glue. So I have a hot metal glue gun that I'm using here. This is available from Anson PDR, and it's called the Trifecta. And I've actually got a battery adapter on here that you have to buy separate for the glue gun in order to adapt it to use DeWalt batteries. So I've got the big boy DeWalt on here. This guy, it's nice because I can fire this glue gun up right away in the morning, and it will literally run all day, and I'd never have to you know, swap out batteries or anything. So that's why I put the big battery on it. Plus, I'm not one to, like, some guys, they like to lift up their glue gun and put the glue on the tab or whatnot. I'm not one like that. That glue gun is going to sit there basically all day just like that, and I'm just going to come over here and squeeze glue onto the tab and go that route. So this next part's going to be a little bit difficult to try to do live because I've got a certain time frame that I've got to put the glue on the tab, put it on the panel, and then pull. So I'm not going to really have enough time to go ahead and do this all in the live thing, but you'll be able to see basically me doing the motion of it. So we'll get a few different things here into. All right. So anyway, so like I said, let's go ahead and give this a roll. See how this works out. Put a decent amount of glue on there. It's actually a little bit on the heavy side, but that's okay because I don't want it to super pull the crap out of it. I just want to pull a nice soft pull. So typically I want to put a lot more glue on, and I'm going to pull it a little bit sooner. I'm not really sure how to really explain that. It's just one of those things where I just know that that's what needs to be done. So right there I gave it 2 slide hammer pulls, and the glue came off of the tab and stayed on the car. So what does that mean? So that means I actually pulled it a little bit too soon, but that's okay because I wanted it to be a softer pull. I wanted the glue to release from either the vehicle or the tab, typically the tab if you over pull too fast. And that allows me to kind of do a softer pull and not over pull the crap out of it, essentially, if that makes sense. So, okay, it did move a little bit, so I'll just go ahead and show you right here on the camera. And actually, it's kind of funny that I'm doing this because I've got actually my regular video camera just a little bit lessened, but not really a whole. Most of you probably can't really tell, or wouldn't be able to tell anyways. But all right. And I do have this actually being recorded on my big camera, so I got to do it with that too. There we go. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and switch it up to a little bit different style tab, and I'm going to pull a little bit later. So what I'm going to actually use here is these are the root beer tabs. They look root beer colored. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on there and then give this a shot. Another thing I guess I didn't talk about was the type of glue that I'm using. This is actually Anson's cold weather glue, and now I'm actually going to use a mini lifter. So this is time sensitive, so I got to glue pull this, but I'll talk about this in a minute. Okay, so that snapping noise is often a common thing that people go, oh, the dent popped out. No, not quite. What that is actually the glue releasing from the tab, and just basically it just snaps off like that. It makes that noise. People often misuse that noise and think, oh, the dent popped out. No, it actually doesn't. Even especially aluminum, and this is a common misconception with the aluminum vehicles, is people automatically think, oh, you know, like aluminum, it must dent super easy. You know, I don't know why they think that. It's probably from the, you know, aluminum can, like a pop or soda can, that people think, oh, I can just crush it with my hand, super, you know, lightweight and stuff like that. It's not actually the case. Aluminum is actually a lot harder to fix than your traditional steel, and it's a lot harder to dent than your traditional steel. So again, I did say traditional steel, not high strength steel that they put in a lot of today's vehicles. So anyway, so now that I've got the glue, the tab off the vehicle here, I'm gonna go ahead and spray some of a release agent, which is actually 91% isopropyl alcohol. And then I go ahead and peel the damaged tab off, or the tab off, and inspect the area. So this is actually a big improvement. It actually did overpull a little bit, which I expected it probably would. Trying to kind of speed this up because I could sit here and drag this out for quite some time, but as you can see, it's actually a little bit of a high spot now. See that? And let's go ahead and take the light off of it so you can kind of see. Yep. See kind of the pinch look there? All right, so again, since I'm recording this via the big camera, I've got to show it on there too. So you're going to see everything that I do when I do one of these videos. So basically doing the exact same thing that I did on the camera phone as I did the big camera. Show it with and without a light. Again, as you can see, it's a high spot. Or crown, I guess you could say. This is going to be interesting for people watching later. They're like, what the heck is he doing? Alright. Alright, so now that I've got the dent outwards, or basically reversed, what I need to do is actually knock it down. So what that is I'm actually pushing the metal back down to make it flattened out. So what I'm going to actually use for this is, there's a lot of choices. You know, again, I don't want to sit down here and ramble for like an hour, but I'm going to actually use the Kiko root beer style knockdown. Show it on both cameras. Very smart. And then this is the Shane Jack's blending hammer with a couple of Edgy Tools style tips on here, the ET207 and the ET8. This is a plastic coated, rubber coated tip, and then this is a polished, very, very tiny knockdown. So I'm not going to actually use the hammer part of it. I'm actually going to use the side to actually tap this knockdown into it. Again, this is from Kiko. And then as the dent gets flatter, I want to actually move the light back further so I can see the total deflection in the dented area. Alright, so went on ahead and did some knockdown here work again with this. I did switch to the hammer there for just a couple seconds. So let's go ahead and show you kind of what the dent looks like now. So it's pretty close. It's got one little, just minor little pit in it right now that's left. I love it. I got a neighbor that's blasting music right now. Sweet. So, all right. So let's go ahead and just show you what this looks like so you can see it. Again, with the PDR light on it, so you can see just a little bit. So never mind. A couple of these little marks in here are from my tap down, which you can basically only see because the light's on there. But we will go ahead and wet sand and polish this area out once we're done. So you're probably going, "Wow, it looks pretty good," you know, whatnot. You know, just polish some marks off, no big deal. But there actually is, I can see it anyways with my eye. There's just a little pit at the top there. So, again, I remember watching these dent repair videos, and I'll go and I'm going to do a pan with this camera while I'm explaining this. I remember watching dent repair videos when I first started in Paintless Dent repair. I was in the process of learning, and I remember watching guys. If you guys haven't checked them out, it'd be Dent Time, which is Mike Toledo, here on Instagram and Facebook and all the other platforms, YouTube as well. But also the Sal Contreras. I remember watching their videos back when I started or was getting into PDR. And I remember them doing the close-up videos like I just showed you there. And I remember being like, what is this guy even showing? Like, I don't even see what he's talking about. It looks fine. Well, it's just when you fix dents all the time and stuff like that, you just get accustomed to seeing things that your average person doesn't see. So, you know, I don't know, just fixing it, I don't know, it is what it is. So we're using a Kiko small tab here and the Kiko mini lifter. I guess I didn't actually explain this. So what exactly is this tool here? So what this does is it allows me to put these feet, these rubber feet here on the panel, and then I actually squeeze this handle here and see how it pulls upwards. Gotta do it for both cameras. So that actually, then I can actually tighten the tension by turning this blue thing, the blue dial. So, anyways, let's go and keep going. So I'm just selecting another Kiko tab, same size as the last one. Man, I gotta give it props to Mike over at Dent Time here. He does these live videos all the time, and this is quite a bit fun. It's very like, you don't really realize how much stuff you talk about, or do, I should say, when you're doing a repair, and you just kind of take for granted just knowing what you need to do, and then trying to explain it is like a whole other, trying to teach it essentially, it's just a whole other, you know, thing, which is kind of funny to think about. So let's go ahead and get this camera fine-tuned in there. So. All right, so basically we've got the dent, it's all completely gone now. I ended up getting it, don't worry, I'm going to show you here. A couple fine touches here. All right, she's good to go. So let's go ahead and show you. We've got basically, right, you can just barely see it. So again, those are little scuff marks just from the knockdown and me hitting it hard. But I'm gonna go ahead and polish those out. Don't worry, I'll show you that too. Try to get this camera set up. Don't worry, I gotta do the big one too. So. This is difficult. I need a camera crew. I need to be the camera crew and do this for somebody else actually. Alright. Another nice thing about this repair here is this guy's actually, he actually is going to take it into the detail shop. Go over and visit Ryan over at Superior Detail. He's actually on here on Instagram too, so if you're not following him, Superior Details SD, I believe. Check him out. You'll be able to see some of his stuff. So it's funny how I just showed you guys the footage here on the camera, and you're probably going, "Oh, it looks good," and I'm still like, I could just see it like just a little minor flicker there. So even though it's going to the detail shop, you still want to polish out those little tiny baby scuff marks here. So what I'm going to actually do is apply a little bit buffing compound to my buffer here, my mini buffer. Basically drill with a pad on it. Works really, really good. And after that, spray a little mist and shine to wipe up the residue here. All done. There you go, live dent repair. Get this light out of the way, If you look at it in all the different lights. Look at that reflection. Nothing. Completely gone. Well, anyways, dent's all gone. We've got actually one on the other side I'm going to go ahead and do. I think I'm going to actually do that on Facebook Live instead of Instagram now. So anyways, if you got any kind of questions or anything like that for me about this repair process or anything at all, feel free to go ahead and give us a call or text us at 605-250-1023. And I'd be happy to set you up and discuss with you a little bit about your vehicle's damage, as well as get you in for a free estimate time. We've got appointments kind of available. We do everything by appointment, by the way, so that is something to consider. We can do some, where people just kind of pop in, but it's something where you're going to have to let us know ahead of time because I'm not always necessarily at the shop at that exact second. And the last thing I would want for you to do is just show up and me not be here. You know what I mean? So anyway, so hopefully you guys learned something here. Again, if you got any questions, leave them down in the comments. Hopefully this didn't get too long, but it happens. So anyways, thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.